Alright, so we're doing a cube draft today. We're going to see if we can have a little fun with this. I'm a huge fan of the cube format, so a lot of good cards in this pack here. If you're not familiar with the cube draft, it's basically just a collection of really powerful cards that you draft like regular booster packs. We've got a Griselbrand, an Emrakul, a Gideon Jura. These are all very good cards, even for cube draft. I'm not really sure what we want to take here. I kind of like the idea of taking the Griselbrand. We might be able to end up in some sort of reanimator or show and tell strategy. We may be able to wheel the Emrakul out of that, or we could take the Gideon Jura. But there's still some pretty strong white cards in this pack that we're going to be passing, so I don't want to get cut off. Whereas this is the only black card in the pack, so that may help. That may work in our favor. In pack 2, and Griselbrand is just a ridiculously powerful magic card, so we're going to go ahead and take that. So I'd like to welcome you guys to another video for the Old Magic guys. Sorry I didn't get to introduce the beginning of the video there because the draft had already started. So, but let's see. So we've got a Mesmeric Fiend, we've got a Sphinx's Revelation, a Venser. Let's see, Engineered Explosives, Urborg. I like the Urborg here. Sticking to the black plan, this will let us splash some other colors a little easier and give us the black that we need to actually hardcast Griselbrand if that becomes necessary. So none of the other cards in this pack really super appeal to me. If we'd taken the Gideon, we'd probably pick up the Sphinx's Revelation here and go into some sort of blue-white control deck. But yeah, not a whole lot here. This is a pretty weak pack overall for this early in the draft. So I think we're gonna pick up the Urborg. I don't wanna commit to a second color just yet, and none of these cards are good enough to want me to go into a second color. So we'll go ahead and take that. So here we get a Death Cloud. That's really good. A Vindicate, a Viscera, a Vampire Hexmage, if we want to stick on the black plan. We could build a Death Cloud deck. I feel like Viscera has a good chance to wheel. Maybe not. The Vampire Hexmage is really good. It's an aggressive creature that can also deal with planeswalkers, and there are quite a few planeswalkers in the cube, so I don't hate picking that either. Again, none of the rest of these cards are super relevant, though we may want to take this Relic of Progenitus in case we do end up with some sort of reanimation strategy. We don't want it to be used against us, and it is a good card, and it again doesn't commit us to a second color, unlike Death Cloud, Viscera, or Vampire Hexmage. Or I'm sorry, they don't commit us to a second color either, but I think I'm going to take the Relic here, and then one of these three cards should wheel, and we'll know a little bit more about the direction that we're going to be going here. So here we get a Yawgmoth's Will. That's an interesting card. A Palladium Mirror, Domri Ray. Now this pack has some decent cards in it. Greater Gargadon is a good card. If we're on the Death Cloud plan, if we do wheel the Death Cloud, then the Greater Gargadon will work in our favor. Let's see. Badlands, we could take it for mana fixing, but we don't even know that we're going to be in red. Domri Ray is really super strong. So that's maybe we're taking, or possibly even the Yawgmoth's Will. We may... though Yawgmoth's Will does not typically go with a deck that plays Griselbrand, it is still a powerful card. I kind of just want to take the Palladium Mirror here because it does help us ramp into Griselbrand. Although the Simic Sky Swallower would be good as well. I'm going to take the Palladium Mirror here. So here we get a Bloodghast, a Sign in Blood, a Swords to Plowshares. There are a lot of good cards in this pack. Koth, Elspeth, Lodestone Golem. I think I'm probably going to take the Swords here. Swords is a really powerful card. I'm surprised it's still in this pack, to be honest. This pack must have been like really insane for these cards to still be in here. So I think we're going to go and take the Swords because it is still one of the best removal spells ever printed. And we may will that Vindicate that we passed earlier and end up in some sort of blue-white control or mid-range deck that ends with Griselbrand. So that's what we're going to take here. We would like to see the Sign in Blood wheel, but the odds of that are pretty unlikely. Or the Elspeth if we do end up in black-white. But again, the odds of either of those wheeling are pretty small, so we won't bank too much on that. All right, so here we can continue the mono black plan with the Geralt's Messenger or a Phyrexian Obliterator. Um, I don't hate either of those choices. None of the rest of these cards are super relevant here. Chandra Powermaster is one of the best Chandras in the cube. Lightning would be good if we were on the red plan. Chrome Mox might be worth picking up just as a way to ramp and mana fix, but I kind of don't hate the idea of just trying to go as heavy black as possible, especially since we haven't passed any black cards, so we may get some pretty good ones in pack 2. In this case, I think we will take the Geralt's Messenger. It's going to be easier to cast if we do end up in a second color, and I think the Obliterator has a better chance of wheeling because of the heavier black mana cost, so we'll take the Messenger. Here we get a Grave Titan. Now this seems pretty easy here, so we're definitely going to take this Grave Titan here. None of these other cards really are super interesting to us. Tainted Pact would be good if we were in some sort of combo deck and trying to dig for pieces. It's basically, unless you hit, it's a complicated card, but it basically lets you dig for whatever card you need most of the time, especially in a singleton format. Lotus Bloom, again, if we were on a combo deck. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and take this Grave Titan here. And then, wow. So Storm could have been an interesting deck to try to draft here, but I think we're going to pick up this Guldraz Assassin. Again, it fits into the mono black theme we already have. Wow, Wheel of Fortune too. Electrolyze is a good card as well, but but again, not anything that we're close to being playing. So we'll go ahead and take this this Assassin. All right, so we did see the Emrakul come back. That doesn't really help us a lot. Because we don't seem to be on any, we didn't see a show and tell. It might be worth taking in case we end up with a show and tell, but I feel like the Blood Crypt is just better here. It gives us the ability to splash any black card or any red cards that we find, like that Blightning. We may pick up the Blood Crypt, or I'm sorry, the Badlands that we saw floating around, and with enough red mana fixing, we can pick up some red cards that may be useful to us. So I think we're going to, we don't know that we're going to be in red, and this is a double red card, so I think we're going to pick the Engineered Explosives here. We may end up with some dual lands that will help us get some Sunburst out of it. So that's what we're going to take. None of the rest of these cards really do anything in the deck we're working on here. So we willed Viscera and the Death Cloud. I think we're looking more toward a Viscera deck than a Death Cloud deck. So I think that's what we're going to take here. The Yawgmoth's Will wield, but again, this is not a Yawgmoth's Will deck, so I think we're going to take the Crumbling Necropolis, which again helps with the blue-black, or with the black-red mana fixing, as well as adds blue in case we find any good blue cards coming around. And for that same reason, we're now going to take this Dimir Aqueduct. We did will the Blinding, so we'll go ahead and pick that up in case we end up with that, and we willed the Tainted Pact. So I doubt we'll play the Tainted Pact. Not really something that we're going to be wanting to use. Not a whole lot of options there. I don't know that we'll be playing this Palladium Mirror. So here we are going to Windmill Slam this Recurring Nightmare. It works very well with the Griselbrand and the Viscera and the Grave Titan they already have. There are no other good black cards in this pack. Well, there's a Dismember, but Recurring Nightmare is just such a game-breaking card. And then we may be able to will this Attrition, which will work with the Recurring Nightmare. So we are passing an Elspeth Knight Errant, very good. A Thassa, also very good. Garruk is a very good Planeswalker as well. Some green mana acceleration, but this Recurring Nightmare is exactly what we're looking for with this kind of deck. Combos well with Geralt's Messenger and allows us to cheat out Griselbrand or Viscera or our Grave Titan. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Alright, so we have a Makeshift Mannequin. Now this is a decent reanimation spell because it allows us to do it at instant speed. We could take the Wooded Foothills, which allows us to fetch up our Blood Crypt, but it doesn't fetch a black source on its own, so I don't want to get caught in a situation where we would be trying to fetch up a Blood Crypt but already have it in our hand. Tooth and Nail, Would be interesting if we still had, if we had taken the Emrakul to go with the Griselbrand, but we don't have any green yet either. I think I'm going to take this Phyrexian Metamorph. It's just a good magic card in general, allowing us to copy, the best creature or the best artifact that our opponent has or that we have. Copying a Grave Titan with it would be insane, or Dral's Messenger, any of that would be good. And we do have a little bit of blue already, so we may not necessarily have to pay the Phyrexian mana for it. So that's what we're hoping for here. With the Makeshift Mannequin, we hope that that might wheel, but it's not really super relevant, whereas the Phyrexian Metamorph is just a much better card, I feel. So we're definitely going to snap up this Gatekeeper Malik here. This kind of fits in with the plan, with our mono black plan that we're working on here. We may be able to wheel this Lava Claw Reaches. That would be nice, but not really necessary. So again, we're doing a good job of taking all the black cards, keeping our opponents off of black. So here we have some interesting choices. We have an Animate Dead, which would be really good if we had discard outlets. Since we already have the Griselbrand, we may take that. We have a Phyrexian Arena, which is really good, and a Bloodgift Demon, which is like a walking Phyrexian Arena. I feel like Arena is the right call here, given the type of deck that we have. Looking at, we're going to hide this. We're not going to be playing that. I feel like Arena is really good for what we're trying to do here. Hopefully we can, wheel the Animate Dead or the Bloodgift. I don't think that's going to happen, but we also have the option of wheeling Esper Charm or Shadow Mage Infiltrator as well. So Phyrexian Arena it draws a lot of cards for very little investment on our part. So that's what we're going to take. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this Doomblade. Our deck is definitely wanting to pick up some removal spells in order to keep our opponent's creatures in check. We don't necessarily want to pass this Consecrated Sphinx. It is a very good card, but Doomblade does kill Consecrated Sphinx, so hopefully if we do play against the Consecrated Sphinx, we'll have answers for it. Journey to Nowhere is also a good card. We do already have the Scorched Plowshares, but unfortunately we don't have any white mana fixing yet. We haven't seen any. If we were on the ramp or the Tooth and Nail plan that we saw earlier, we could take the Sundering Titan. Scroll Rack is a very good card, but doesn't. We really just need to start picking up some removal. We may be able to wheel the Stupor. That would be acceptable, but we're going to go ahead and take the Doomblade. We'd like to see some more removal come up. So here, if we were if we were a cheaper deck, Dark Confidant would be good. I don't really want to play Dark Confidant in a deck that's playing Viscera, Grave Titan, or Griselbrand. Plowender is a very powerful magic card. If we were on the Deathcloud plan, the Burning of Zinni would probably work. There is some argument here for Sneak Attack, which is probably what I'm going to take. Sneaking in a Griselbrand would be very powerful. I don't hate the Molten Tail Mastercore. It's another way to get removal. But I feel like Sneak Attack is what we want to take here, just in case. We already have some red fixing, and it may just allow us to do some ridiculous things, especially with our Recurring Nightmare. So for that same reason, I think we're going to take this Living Death here. I don't know. We don't have any discard outlets to try to really be on the reanimation plan, so it might be smarter to take the Drowned Catacomb in case we pick up any card draw or filtering or something like that. But I mean, we're already on the mono black plan. Living Death is a fun magic card, and really cube drafting is more about having fun than anything else, so we'll take that. Though we are on the lookout for some sort of discard outlets at this point. So here we get Lake of the Dead, which is a great mana accelerator, especially with our Viscera and our Griselbrand, but we also have Necro. Necro is just a ridiculous magic card and has been ever since the beginning of time. There's no chance for us to wheel this because it's only an 8-card pack. Otherwise, we might take the Verdant Catacombs to be able to search out our Blood Crypt. So we're going to take the Necro here. All right, so here I like the... we already are pretty heavy in 3-drops, so we're probably not going to play this Palladium Mirror because we have so many cards that cost many mana symbols. We'd still like to pick up some white fixing for our swords if we get it, but we do already have some blue fixing. So I'm looking here at Narcolepsy or Seagate Oracle. I like Seagate Oracle a little better. It blocks well, and it is some card selection in what appears to be a control deck that we're building here. We did wheel the Tooth and Nail, so that is an option, but we don't really have any green fixing. Encave Cryptologist is not that great. It becomes a Merfolk Looter, which is okay. Actually, yeah, this is actually really good, because now that I think about it, we were looking for a discard outlet for our reanimation targets. So we'll take the Lava Claw Reaches here, continue on the mana fixing plan. We will go ahead and pick up this Bloodgift Demon's pretty good, but so is Esper Charm. But again, we don't have any white fixing, so we'll take the card we know we can play. And we will the Scroll Rack, which is a little insane, to be honest. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. Here we will take the, is it Boilerworks? You never know, we might need it. Academy Rector, not going to play. So we're doing pretty good so far. We'll see what goodies Pack 3 brings us here. We're mostly a mono black deck. We've got a little blue and a little red. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out for us. We'd like to pick up some more removal spells. So we get an Inca. Snuff Out is really good. It gives us a removal spell that we can... Wow, Storm... Somebody might have a ridiculous Storm deck. We do have a fetch land to help get our mana fixing. There's also a Gilded Lotus, which will help ramp into Grizzlebrand, as well as an Ink Eyes, which is a very good black creature. But I think we're going to take the Snuff Out here just to make sure we have some form of removal in our deck. It can be expensive to pay the 4 life, but hopefully we'll pick up something that allows us to gain some life to offset that. So, no good black cards in this pack. Although the Liliana's Reaver, I have it in my own cube, but I've never really had a chance to play with it, so I don't know how great it is. It does fit decently in our curve, so I don't hate taking it here. We're not really looking to pick up this Ulamog since, well, we do have the sneak attack. The Liliana's Reaver has a good chance of wheeling. I'm going to take the Ulamog here in case we get to do some sort of shenanigans with the sneak attack with it. It's hard for our opponent to beat sneaking in an Ulamog and attacking with the Annihilator trigger, so we'll take it and see how it goes. Alright, so here we get a Dreadbore, which is very good for us. That's right where we're wanting. We do have a Putrid Imp, which would be a good discard outlet for the Living Death and the Recurring Nightmare that we have. We didn't end up with the Animate Dead, or I would place a higher priority on this, whereas Dreadbore is just a very good removal spell that we already have some fixing to play. Although there is some argument for this Neverknow's Disc as well. But we have a lot of cards we don't want to lose to the disc, so we will go ahead and pick up this Dreadbore. Alright, so we have, let's see, we have a Chain Lightning, which is a decent removal spell if we want to take that. We don't want to pick any of these double blue cards, though the Deep Analysis might be okay. I really just kind of want to take the Disfigure here, though, as just another cheap removal spell, because we're pretty susceptible to aggro decks at the moment, so I kind of like just taking them. I don't think we're going to be able to play the Swords based on the mana fixing that we've been getting, so... Spinning Darkness... So that's another decent removal spell that we could grab. Also has the advantage of getting us life. We also have Bloodline Keeper, which is a decent black card and can keep us alive against the aggro decks by making tokens. I think I'm going to take the Spinning Darkness. We have some ways to fill our graveyard, and it's just another good removal spell in case we need it. So, because we're a little light on those. So, it's certainly an interesting deck. We can go ahead and hide that. We're not going to play that. We've got a lot of crazy things we can do here. Seagate Oracle with Living Death, or with Recurring Nightmare is really good. Silent Spectre, not really that great. Baleful Strix is pretty good, especially with the Recurring Nightmare. We may take that and hope to wheel the Creeping Tar Pit. Ponder would also be good. But I really like taking the Baleful Strix here, especially with the blue fixing we already have, as well as the shenanigans it allows with Recurring Nightmare. And it is a 1/1 Death Touch, so it does double as removal spell as well. Sorin's Thirst, almost certainly going to be what we take here. Just another good removal spell against the aggro decks that we're going to have problems with. Although somebody may end up with a very good Smokestacks, Wildfire, Death Cloud deck. That would have been nice if we'd known all that was coming, but we didn't. So we'll take the Sorin's Thirst. We'll definitely take the Shriekmaw. That's right up our alley, especially with the reanimation spells that we have. So we're starting to flesh out pretty well here. It looks like taking all the black cards early on paid off. Let's see. The only card we can fetch with this for fixing is a Blood Crypt, which isn't terrible. So, or we could take Nicol Bolas as the top end of our control deck. Two 8-drops in our non-ramp cube deck. So while we already have Griselbrand, I don't think we're going to need Nicol Bolas, so I'd rather take the card that allows us to improve our mana fixing. We did will the Liliana's Reaver, so that's decent. We'll go ahead and take that. The rest of that stuff appeals to us, though I doubt this will actually make the deck. We like Ratchet Bomb here. It doubles as another engineered explosives against the decks that we want it against. None of these cards are super good for us. Deep Analysis is probably the best one, but I doubt it will make the list. So it's definitely going to be an interesting deck. We may abandon the reanimation stuff. No, I don't think so. None of these cards are great. We'll take the Avenger of Zendikar. Not going to play it. We will the Creeping Tar Pit. That's awesome. I was hoping that would be the case. So we have lots of playables. So some of this is not going to make the cut, clearly. We'll have to see exactly what we're looking at. And a Golgari Route Farm. So we have quite a good bit of fixing for the splashes that we have. We have quite a bit of black red and blue black dual lands. All of our duals being black really helps cement the fact that we'll be able to cast a lot of our triple and quadruple black spells. I'm surprised we didn't wheel the Obliterator. That would have been a good card for us to have, but we'll have to see. So let's see, we like Disfigure, we like the Assassin, we don't like the Tainted Pact, we like the Doomblade and the Gatekeeper and the Thirst and the Recurring Nightmare and the Drawless Messenger. We may not play the Necropotence just because it is such a drain on our life total. We'll have to see how the rest of the curve plays out here. We do like the Arena instead though, we like the Snuff Out. Still in the air on the Reaver. We'll see. I like the Shriekmaw. Definitely like the Living Death and the Grave Titan. Spinning Darkness, Viscera, Griselbrand. Alright, we'll definitely play the Baleful Strix and the Dreadbore. I'm not sure if the Blightning is super relevant here. We like the Ratchet Bomb. We like the Engineered Explosives because we can get quite a bit of different colors in our mana. So this is 19. The Sneak Attack is probably not super useful. We don't hate the Seagate Oracle because it plays well with the reanimation stuff that we already have. Let's see what our curve looks like here. So we're not terrible. I mean, we can consider this a 3-drop most of the time. This can be a free spell if necessary, as can Snuff Out. So we've got some expensive cards, but a lot of the times we're going to try to cheat out Griselbrand. But we do have the option to hard cast him if necessary. Oh, we forgot the Phyrexian Obliterator is definitely making the cut. I wish we had found some white fixing because the Source Plowshares is really good. I guess the Reaver is not terrible on our curve. It is a Death Touch creature. And we kind of want to play an 18-land deck here with the Griselbrand and the... So I don't hate this. We have a lot of mana sinks if we do draw mana heavy hands. Recurring Nightmare allows us to cycle a lot of cards through and use our mana efficiently, as does the level up card here. So it'll definitely be an interesting deck. Having a couple of manlands is also very nice. So and we've got a lot of our fixing already taken care of there, so we don't have to play a whole lot of basics of the other colors. Really, we have one card, two blue cards, so we might play like one island, but we do have 1, 2, 3 blue sources. So yeah, I don't hate one island. Though we do have the Urborg to help if we do draw the island with these guys. Wish this was the blue-black version. Or if we'd picked up that Steam Vents, this would allow us to search out a blue land. So let's see what Wizards, or let's see what Moto suggests. We don't need a mountain, so we're going to pass on that because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 red sources for 1 red card. Yeah, so we don't need that. So 10 swamps and an island. That should be it. All right, so it's an interesting deck. We'll see how it plays out. We may catch some people off guard. Not a lot of people expect you to play mono black in cube, so we'll see how it goes. I'll see you back for round 1.